Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday to the start of a 3-day weekend. There is no school on Monday, and you might be asking why. Monday is Labor Day. And what is Labor Day? Normally, I would go and find a book to explain what Labor Day is, but we don't have any books on Labor Day. So I went to the internet and I printed out Labor Day, what it means. Labor Day, the first Monday in September, is a creation of the labor movement, and it's dedicated to the social and economic achievements of American workers. It constitutes a yearly national tribute to the contributions workers have made to the strength, prosperity, and well-being of our country. And what is labor? Labor is work. People do work of all kinds, for themselves and for others. When people work for other people in exchange for money so they can buy food for their families and pay the rent, they are called the workers or the labor force. This work does not have to involve a shovel or a mop. Computer programmers and skilled medical personnel are also part of the labor force. So I pulled a bunch of books on different kinds of workers, and today I chose the book called Forestry. It's kind of long. I'm sorry about that, but because Fort Bragg, there's a lot of foresters and logging companies and logging trucks in our town, so I thought this would be a great book to read. Forestry by Jane Drake. The old fir tree in Cameron's backyard was the best climber in the neighborhood. Cameron and his friends met in the cool shade under its branches, scolded from above by a nesting woodpecker. A few years ago, the tree started to lose branches and bark. This spring, its needles turned red. The bird family moved to another tree, and Cameron took down his swing. Cameron's Uncle Eric is a forester. Today he's cutting down the fir. He plans every slice of the chainsaw. First, he climbs up the tree, trimming off all the branches. Then, starting from the top, he cuts the tree down in large pieces. Each section thunks to the ground in a shower of sawdust. Cameron is so curious that Eric offers to take him along for a day in the forest. Life in Uncle Eric's community in western Washington centers around the forest. Some people work as foresters, planting, studying, or harvesting trees. Others have jobs at the sawmill, seed research center, or fire control office. Teachers, post office workers, and storekeepers don't work in the forest, but they provide services for the forestry workers and their families. Within the forest, there is an amazing variety of resources. Wood is used for building, for making paper, and for fuel. Trees provide homes for wildlife, clean air, and feed the soil with their leaves. The forest is also a great place for outdoor fun. From above, the forest looks like an endless green carpet of trees, but close up, there's much more. Trees are one part of this ecosystem, a natural community where plants and animals live together, sharing space, food, water, and air. The forest is a complicated environment that people must use with care. If trees are cut and not replaced, soil from the forest can wash into rivers, choking water creatures. Without the forest to protect them, meadows can become windy wastelands where plants struggle to survive, and the air temperature can rise without the cooling effect of trees. Caring for the forest starts with planning for the future. Most state laws require replanting every tree that is cut within 3 years. Seedlings should be planted gradually over many years, recreating the natural forest that was cut with trees of different ages and sizes. Throughout the U.S., each forest has its own variety of trees. For instance, maple, oak, hickory, and other trees grow in eastern forests. In the forest where Cameron's uncle worked, western species of spruce, fir, and pine are common. Many different kinds of seeds are needed to create the variety of trees that grow in forests. Foresters gather seeds from healthy trees, using tools as simple as jackknives or as fancy as baskets dangling under helicopters. Collected seeds are sorted and sent to nurseries for sprouting. Trees are planted in spring or fall when the ground is moist. Crews, dressed for hard work and lots of bugs, are taken to reforestation areas by truck or helicopter. Most seedlings are planted by hand using a tool called a dibble. This site has been prepared so each worker can plant about 100 seedlings in an hour. On rougher ground, it takes longer. Machines are used to reforest flat, open areas. Many seedlings die in their new environment. Weeds can steal their water, food, and light. Insects may damage or kill young trees. To control the weeds and insects, foresters often use chemicals sprayed from planes. Foresters are also looking for environmentally friendly ways to protect the seedlings from pests. At this site, cows are feasting on weeds. Biodegradable tubes protect the seedlings from nibbling teeth of animals. Fire control workers are always ready, and they respond immediately to the report of a fire. Planes loaded with foam fire retardant roar down the runway. The foam slows the fire down until ground crews arrive. Winds move fire quickly, so firefighters clear trees and dig trenches ahead of the blaze to stop it from spreading. More planes dump water and dirt until the fire is out. Finally, helicopters equipped with special machines scan for hot spots that might rekindle the fire. Later, foresters will study the burned site to decide what trees to plant there. Fire is the biggest danger to the forest. In a fire, wildlife is killed or left homeless, and valuable wood is destroyed. Lightning starts some forest fires, but most are caused by careless people. Most logging is done by big machines. The feller buncher has razor-sharp cutting blades. It pinches the tree in its huge jaw, cuts through the trunk close to the ground, then feeds the tree through the limber to remove all the branches. A forester called a bucker uses a chainsaw to trim off the skinny top and cut the tree into sections. Then the feller buncher stacks the logs. The logs are moved from the cutting site by the skidder. The skidder uses a big claw called a grapple to drag the logs to the road for sorting. Logs used for paper making go to the pulp mill. Logs used for making wood products, such as furniture, go to the sawmill. Tree markers use detailed maps to help them choose trees for selective harvesting. Bright yellow paint means cut. These trees are the right size and species and can be easily reached. Red paint signals, leave me alone. These trees have enough space and sunlight and are left to grow for future harvesting, or they are needed for wildlife. A den tree chart helps the tree marker save the homes of birds and animals. If a deer herd uses a grove of hemlock for shelter at night, the whole area is protected from logging. Trees close to the water hold the soil in place so they are never cut. Let's see. The eco-logger looks like a fancy ski lift. Selected trees are cut into logs. These logs are suspended from the eco-logger's cables and carried above the other trees to the bottom of the slope. Having to skip around a little bit because it's so long. Logs that travel by land are loaded onto trucks that rumble down heavy-duty roads to the mills. Logging trucks may have many wheels to support the weight of their huge loads. At the sawmill, logs are sorted by size and by kind of wood. The logs enter the sawmill on a log ladder. The head rig saw cuts a round log and makes it square. The other saws cut the log into smaller planks. Paper is an important forest product. It is made from wood or recycled paper or a combination of both. This pulp mill uses wood chips, sawdust, and recycled paper. They are stewed in a digester with chemicals and water until the mixture becomes very sticky. This gooey concoction, called pulp, is drained on a screen, pressed, and dried. The final product is a huge roll of paper that is cut into sheets, boxed, and sold. On the way home, Uncle Eric lands the helicopter near the wilderness park. Enormous old pines stretch into the evening sky. The howl of a wolf makes Cameron shiver. This wild place, with its trees, plants, and wildlife, is protected. It will never be used for people farming, logging, mining, or downhill skiing. It will just be there. So they talk about logging in Washington and what kinds of trees they log. In Fort Bragg, we have a lot of